Hello and welcome to day 16 of 21 days to Solstice. I'm Coleen Renee and happy to welcome you here as we continue our journey to connect with that inner light and to embrace the feminine energies that we will need to heal and transform in 2018. Today, let's talk about Hestia. Hestia is the goddess of the hearth and home. She keeps the home fires burning. She creates not just the physicality of home, but the experience of home, of feeling welcome, of feeling comforted, of feeling free to be oneself. And in this season of holidays with family coming and all of that going on, we often strive for that, and sometimes we fail because we're striving so hard. But it can be this stressful time of year. So the next couple of days, what I'd like to offer is some cooking magic, some tools to work with to help you ground and center as you're doing the stuff that needs to be done. So today I'm going to just speak generally about it, and then tomorrow I'll do a little video and do some actual cooking. Okay, so across the world, in ancient times and current times, people have associated certain foods with certain qualities, and some of it is innate in the food itself, and some of it is our association. Like if I say macaroni and cheese, for a lot of people, that is like the ultimate comfort food. You know, it's warm and it's gooey and it smells lovely. Everyone has their kind of foods and their associations. Growing up, holidays at my grandmother's house, the first thing when you walked in, you always smelled ham and coffee. And so whenever I smell those two scents together, I am immediately transported back. And it's, you know, the holidays at grandma's house. There are foods that have particular qualities that are good for us. Well, that are just qualities. We won't say whether they're good or bad for us. Rosemary is an herb associated with remembering. And it can help the memory, but it also connects us to our memories. Basil is a wonderful herb for healing. Garlic is healing. And some of these we're kind of aware of. And then there's the warm spices. There's a lot of warm spices in this season. And there's a reason for that, because it literally warms our bodies in the colder, darker times of the year. And so we can bring some intention when we're cooking. And this is something that we can do to kind of create that sense of home. That Hestia essence to our offerings in the holiday seasons. And let me just give you one of the characters in the Harry Potter series, Mrs. Weasley, Ronald's mother, is sort of an epitome of Hestia. And I don't know if you remember the scene or have seen it, but there's a scene where Harry first goes to Ron's house, and the house is kind of crooked. And you walk in and there's a lot going on, and almost has a sense of disheveledness, but it's not really. But, you know, you can almost smell things baking, and, you know, there's crocheting and knitting going on. And there's just these lovely, curious things in the house. And there's this openness about it that just like welcomes you in. And whether she touches you or not, when she knows you're there, you get an energetic hug from Mrs. Weasley. You know, her kids, and, you know, she might yell at them, but there's also this welcoming, warm hug. And so there's just the sense that you can be who you are in her home and that your needs will be met. So that's like the essence of Hestia. And that doesn't necessarily have to happen in a house. We get really attached to the people who do our hair sometimes. And sometimes it's because of that, because we know we can go and just like, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. And, you know, they're touching us and they're, you know, making us feel better about ourselves by doing the haircut and just giving us that attention. And that can be also a Hestia essence. So in the holiday seasons, I think that we often look for that, and we certainly are grateful when we find it. So when I'm cooking during the holiday season, or I'm planning a meal, or planning even gifts for people, one of the things I consider are what are the energies that are innate in the things I'm bringing together. And there are, you can Google these. If you want, I'll put my email down at the bottom, or my email list down at the bottom. And if you join that, I will send you a list of different foods and the qualities that are associated with them. So that if you are planning a meal, you can fold those in. And the other piece of that you can do is if there are tensions or issues that tend to come in, you can actually add some spices or some elements into the cooking that will help balance that. And we can do that with the cooking, but we can also do it with scent. And I really caution you on this one, because there's a lot of like candles and that sort of stuff out there, or even oils. Make sure they're pure essential oils, because if they're not from the actual plants themselves, you're not going to get the qualities. You might get the scent, the memories, like if I smell ham and coffee together, whether it's, actual smell or if it's a genetically engineered smell, I'm still going to get the memory of my grandmother's house, but I won't get the essence of those elements in terms of healing and bringing energies into the event. So just to give you a few ideas now, apples are very much associated with love. So if you're really wanting to highlight the love among those who are gathered, adding apples to the meal is a wonderful addition to doing that. Okay, so again, go ahead and get on the email list, and I will send you that list. And tomorrow I will do some specific cooking, because there's a lot of things you can do even in the actions of cooking. And for example, if you're feeling overwhelmed about how much you have to do, as you're cutting the celery into small bits to put in a stew, for example, you can also have the intention that, okay, I'm going to put these in easily digestible pieces. I'm going to break down all I have to do into just this thing first and this thing first. So I hope this kind of gives you some ideas of how you can go about doing what you need to do, but also bring some thought and some intention into it to make your gatherings, to make your holidays a little easier. Okay, this is Coleen, and I will see you tomorrow.